This week I'm calling it, what do you bring to the party? So the sessions this week were very much a continuation of seeing yourself, but how you see yourself, how centered, feet on the ground, being able to see yourself is difficult because there is so much skill in so many people, and they're the ones who give so much, and in giving so much, others kind of feel they can do more, or it's up to them to make everything okay, which means they want you to bring 100% to the party and expect that, or else it doesn't feel normal to them. Or if they have a completely different view of how things need to go because of that 2-year-old that is the bitch from hell arrives, and they just want their way because they haven't learned how to civilize their way of expressing all of that they want like that. It's not unusual for me to see people who are doing 2 or 3 times the amount of work that they're paid for, or remunerated for rather, and they themselves just see themselves as lacking because they can't do the whole 100%. And they don't tend to look at, is the other person bringing anything to the party? They have this world view that it has to be that particular way, and they just keep putting in and putting in. Then there's the other side of it, where you're clear about what you're clear about what you want. And you can feel it's there. And the trap is that you fall into, but it's here, not now, so it's never going to happen, and when's it going to happen? And that awfulness that actually destroys what really is there, that you can feel moving into. And the other party is there, and they are putting in, but because of the history of the past, which is carried by so many, they don't have faith in it anymore, or they don't believe it. I'll only believe it if I have it. And in wanting to push it and have it, or on the other hand, you want to deny it because you don't want to know it's not going to work out well, when in fact it's working really well. All of that showed up this week. You know, the universe is very intelligent, and more the sense of plasma that this intelligence is that we swim in truly does have our backs. And miracles do happen all the time, all the time. The cards that were pulled were inspiration and spontaneity. And you know, when you bring something to the party, I have an idea, oh, I know what we can do with that, or how about we set that in place? You know, it comes through. There was such magic around for those when they got to see it, saw all the potentialities and possibilities when they could see that they were with someone who is able to take an idea and have it grow. You know, back in the late 70s, when I was doing primary school teaching, there was this man called Maury Bolson. And Maury Bolson used to hold parent nights, and he'd be standing on the stage, and the first things he would say was, The problem with children is good mothers. And and then he'd go to explain that a child that has chores around the house, that brings something to the party, has a feeling of belonging because they've contributed, rather than having everything done for them. And, you know, when I was teaching in primary school long time ago, you could see the mothers who did everything. You know, that's just not now. We see it a lot, but it's always kind of been around. And these children had a real sense of entitlement, that everything had to be 100% for them, and that it was just expected, and the parents provided. So at some stage, there's got to be this sense of, and what do you bring to the party? What do you bring to the party? It's like, can you take me here? Can you take me there? It's like, well, did you put the shoes away? I asked you to put away. Like, you expect me to do that, and for 3 days those shoes have been there. So what do you bring to the party that we can be in relationship with, so that this sense of teamwork that we are really more and more looking at to have with our tribe? So what did show up this week was also an element of what people already have within them as they incarnate. And in the process of arriving, what is seen and how you interpret that can influence your life here. You know, I know over the times there's been beings that have showed up who in arriving here saw it and said, oh my God, that's not natural. And they ended up having lives that really weren't natural. If one thing after another wasn't what you would call, that's natural. And then there are the others, as they arrive, they're so excited, and they go, wow, look at this, bring it on. And they come in, and there's this sense of meeting it all. And there's also those that come, and in seeing it, feel so much compassion that they link to the other to such an extent that they themselves don't show up, because they drown in the otherness. And one such being did turn up this weekend, and it was, you know, there was a new distinction that came for me, because, you know, love and hate are a team. And they say the opposite of love truly is indifference, to be indifferent. But in this case, it showed indifference at a whole new level. It was the need to be indifferent for unconditional love to show up. And there are those who came this weekend who were living in that unconditional love to the extent of feeling anxious and to some extent in trauma, because how they wanted a resolution didn't seem possible. What wasn't seen is that indifference to anything other than that outcome, like, you know, that sense of marriage to everything you meet, which is a sense of accountability, and taking 100% accountability when the other doesn't bring anything to the party, can become extraordinarily abusive. And then to see how much you bring to the party. And see that the other doesn't come to the party with ears open. It's an important thing to see, so that you can move on with those who come with ideas and have something to offer, rather than just an idea and now you put it in place. It's more, bring something to the party, but bring something with it that the others can contribute to, so that it's a flow of what we bring to the party. Having feet on the ground, exercising indifference so you can stay on your page. And another came to the point of being able to look at all of those who came before and all of those yet to be present, and felt total forgiveness, immense peace. So the cards were inspiration and spontaneity, and I thought, wow, what's this going to look like? But when we bring something to the party, there is an inspiration and there is a spontaneity, and that is life itself. Inspiration. The river of all-knowing allows every possibility to be open to you. Allow yourself to tap into this vastness. Be inspired by the beauty that surrounds you. Be inspired to open yourself to the riches the world has to offer. All these ideas that can grow into amazing things, they're on offer. In any moment, you can allow inspirational thinking to set you free. Which moment will you choose? Spontaneity. Have fun. Express your love. Do something unusual and different. Get out of your head and into your heart. Planning certainly needs a place in your life, but do not allow your self-imposed rules and limitations to stop you from expressing who you are. Although now is not the time for impulsive spending, be spontaneous on the inside. Think kind thoughts where none have gone before. And in the giving of so much, those that do 110, 120%, and are seen as it's still not enough, that's like being in a war, because you can't stop. It swallows your life. And then when finally it's seen, an exhaustion arrives. And it's important that an exhaustion arrives because it allows reflection. And then convalescence takes place. You may not have these spontaneous ideas or be inspired, because it's time to rest, to recoup, to review, to re-see, and to start seeing what are you bringing to the party, and being aware that enough is enough.